Information powerhouses wandering the universe aimlessly, on a never-ending journey looking for the perfect complement of their individual skills and talents. A partner to fight the ignorance and capitulation that holds this country in its grip. And when they united, Vantage Point was born. A lexicon of pointless views and opinions, a brain trust of sorts, a megalithic... Crap, Tom, could you put that up, please? A megalithic paradigm. Never mind. Oh, shut up, dog.
Echo, echo, echo.
Jake, you out there, Jake?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? How's it going? My name is Jake from Total News Network. I'm here with Rich from 1600 Reasons Why.
What up?
And together, we make a new show called Vantage Point. We are so excited to be going live tonight. This is actually kind of a soft rollout, so we're just here to really introduce ourselves, introduce the show, introduce my boy, Rich. Say what's up, Rich, to everybody.
How's it going, everybody? Followed from afar and decided to come out of the caverns and come topside to see what's up and follow Jake. Good being with him. It's been a long time coming.
Oh, yeah. So welcome, everybody, on YouTube. We are also on stream.me, and we are on Periscope. So be sure to follow this page, Vantage Point, on Periscope, at Vantage Point USA on Twitter, Vantage Point USA on YouTube, and Vantage Point on Restream.
And you got 1600 Reasons Why on YouTube. We're just covering
Absolutely.
all. So as soon as we get shadow banned, you can drop to one, then drop to the other, then go to the other one.
That's right.
Muddy water.
Also, Total News Network on Periscope, of course, on Twitter, at Choose Total News, and Total News Network on YouTube. And like Rich says, we're pretty much shadow banned. Hopefully they're not too rough on us on this new show, but I want to just welcome everybody. For those that have been following me forever, for those that are brand new, I couldn't wait to introduce my boy Rich here. He's got a lot of knowledge. Speaking of knowledge, why don't you tell people about the deep state and the next thing they're bringing to our life?
Wow. Yeah. You know, this is one of the things I got to give credit to Lisa Haven, who's got her own web channel. And she actually brought this back to my mind. This is something I knew back in 2005 and was all up in arms about. But like a lot of things, it kind of slips through the cracks over time, which is just what they wanted to do. They want you to forget about the fact that they have it coming down the pike. So you kind of lose track of it. But it's called the Real ID, and it's Public Law 109-19. And what the Real ID is, I'll punch it up real quick here. All right. Real ID passed by Congress 2005. So what's this going to do? It establishes minimum security requirements for state-issued ID drivers. And some of these things are biometric, biographic. The information that's contained in these cars will be unlike anything that's been really put down on the American people before. Wow. One of the things about this, and one of the reasons they're going to one of the ways they're going to strong arm people to pretty much have to get these things, you will not be able to get a driver's license. Without this going forward, because almost every state is now going to be compliant as of January 1st. There's going to be a couple of stragglers. There's a couple of things under review, but pretty much everybody's going to this. Some of the things that it contains is the full legal name, residential address, birthday, gender, driver's license identification number, and a digital front-facing photograph. Now, not just a normal digital front-facing photograph, but like I said, this will be biometric technology that they're going to be using.
Wow, this is scary. Now, this will be state by state, or is this for the whole country?
Nah, this is nationwide. You know, some of the states kind of went against this back in 2005. They were given X amount of time, which is coming up here in January, to become compliant on this. Some of them, fought back, but in the end, this is Homeland Security stuff. They will have to do it. And like I said, the biggest thing is, for many of us, and like me, I travel by plane quite often. This is something that you'll have to show to TSA as you're trying to board a plane to actually get on the plane. So, yeah, and
it's called Real ID.
The Real ID. What a cheesy.
And it's funny that we haven't heard much about it on the news. I wonder why that is.
Well, obviously, yeah, because this stuff is just done in stealth. It's brought up, and then by the time people find out about it, it's too late to actually try to, take any stance against it. And people, as a general rule, obviously are sheep, and so they're going to go ahead and go along with it. But yeah, just keep in mind that a photo ID, these are the requirements for it. And like I said, you can go. They're not hiding it. You can go to Homeland Security's website and type in Real ID. This stuff is posted all over the place. And
wow! So they have a link on Homeland Security's website to find out about this.
Oh yeah, I mean it's all there, and it's actually kind of it's funny if you actually read through all the documentation and the PDFs that they have on there. They actually talk very sternly to the states about how you better be compliant because you've had a lot of time now to become compliant. This is a sample of it, and obviously you can see all these Real IDs will have a gold star in the corner to signify that it's a Real ID. Oh,
and this is not a real person, I hope.
No, sure. Well, I'm sure somewhere she is. Of course, who knows? They could make anybody anywhere they want to, but obviously, and here we go. Once again, the reference to the concentration camps where they had the different stars that they could that could identify people by. These were actually, I found this interesting as I came across this. This were actually badges for people that were in concentration camps. Now, obviously, I don't read German. Matter of fact, proudly failed out of 3 semesters of German at college. But these are the actual insignias people used to wear that would say whether or not they were prone to try to run from the concentration camps, if they were good at sewing, if they were, cooks, if they were cleaning, if they were in trouble, if they were, these were actually the badges on it. But anyway, it's kind of reminiscent that you have this sort of thing.
So you pretty much see this Real ID that the government's going to start requiring as almost a badge to label you.
It's so invasive, the information, and it's funny because I'll pull up a clip right here in a second, but one of the things I find really interesting is that for all of the things that this is supposed to prove, two of the things that it does not actually preclude, this has nothing to do with voting. This card is not used as a voter registration card. And initially that was one of the things that they were trying to push was, here's one of the benefits of it is that if you want a national ID card for a voter card, hey, this would be, but no, they backed off on it. That's not what it's for. Applying for and receiving federal benefits, guess what? Card's not required for that either. So you can still be here illegally, still vote, still get benefits because you do not have to have this, to actually enjoy those benefits here.
Right. I was thinking myself, actually, hey, well, maybe this isn't such a bad thing because we all know we need some sort of ID for voting. I mean, it's getting out of hand in this country. It seems like anybody can vote from wherever you come. You just come in and you vote. Even dead people allegedly have been voting, and, it's amazing. But obviously, they're asking for a lot more information with this Real ID. Once again, let me welcome everybody also on YouTube. I see some people watching on YouTube and Periscope. We're not really answering chat right now, but I am keeping an eye on it. This is our first show, so I want to welcome you guys. I don't mean to be ignoring your chat wherever you're watching. We're on stream.me. We're on Periscope. I also introduced, if you're just joining now, my friend Rich. I couldn't wait to get him on. He's got a lot of knowledge of things like this Real ID. Like he said, you can go on Homeland Security and check this out for yourself. This is something they're going to be rolling out when, Rich?
This is as of January 1st.
What, this January?
Yeah, I mean, this is January
Wow.
1st. This was set in place back in 2005 by Homeland Security, and the enactment of it is coming up. And
Wow.
there's actually, like I said, there's most of the states have already been compliant. Matter of fact, you can go to the Homeland Security's website, and they actually have a map of states that are, quote, reviewing this, and then the ones that are actually already, which my state is one of the ones that has already bought into it. So no, I mean, there's no way around it. This will be the definitive thing. And like I said, the way they're going to get
scary.
The way they're going to get people is the air traffic. Now they say you can't go into a nuclear facility without this card. And I don't know, I don't have a lot of friends who go in nuclear facilities. So, that wasn't a big selling point on this. And
Right.
and if you're going into a government facility that requires an ID, you will have to have this ID in order to get into the government facility. TSA, like I said, boarding a plane, that's the key one. How many people travel? How many people go to see grandmom every year, Obviously, there's going to be some age limitations that will be excused from this. But still, if you are an adult, you will have this. And, the TSA does have some other forms of ID that passport will still get you on a plane. For now, but I truly think that eventually they're going to even phase that out and try to go with this. And what I got up on the screen right now is a privacy impact assessment of the proposed rule. Now, this is back in 2007 when they talk about the way that this act will be, reminiscent of the Social Security Act, which was not supposed to be an identification card. Matter of fact, if any of you have your parents and they actually have their original Social Security cards, it says on the Social Security cards not to be used for identification purposes. Okay.
Right.
And they talk about in this bill. Now this is
I might be aging myself, but I might even have that on my original one. Real quick, before we get back to that, somebody in the comments on Periscope, MAGA Some Noise, who I know very well, been following me for a while, said, I believe Washington State will not be compliant. Now, that's a very good point, because there are federal laws and some states ignore them, like the, marijuana or whatever. How strict do you think they're going to crack down on these states? And will they be able to if states decide that they're not going to go along with this?
Any state that is not compliant as of the time that this happens, don't forget that TSA is not a state issue. TSA is a federal issue. So if they are not compliant and you try to board a plane, interesting, you'll see what will happen then if your state is not compliant, because they are not the controlling purpose. And don't forget, every time a state has tried to stand up to the federal government, what's the ace in the hole that the government always pulls? The ace in the hole that they always pull is funding, federal funding for road projects, whatever. Every time Colorado tried to stand up for something, they just don't have the purse strings to tough it out with the federal government. They will eventually cave. And don't forget, you don't have to get this license. This is not something you are required to get. No one's forcing you. You don't have to do it. Well, the only thing the federal government's saying is to board a federally regulated airplane, you will have to have this ID, or you're going to have, or you'll have a passport at this point. But so it's not like you have to go down to the Division of Motor Vehicles and get this. This is not a driver's license per se that you have to get. But when you renew your driver's license, you're going to have to make a decision whether or not you're going to do it. I assume that all the states that are compliant with it will automatically have it on there. The ones that aren't, you could probably still get your normal driver's license. You just will run into troubles at any, quote, federal facility that requires this ID to be used. And like I said, you will have a list, and I encourage everyone to go to the Homeland Security. You will have a list of places that you will have to have it. But in short, airplanes, anywhere that there's a federal facility that requires an identification, you'll have to have it there. So, yeah.
I'm actually going to check that out as soon as we end this broadcast. This is like amazing to me. And as we know, the government's just getting more and more intrusive. And this is just another way to gather data and just label you, I'm sure. Also, I want to remind everybody, welcome on YouTube, Periscope, stream.me. Make sure you follow this page, share this broadcast. This is kind of a soft launch of what we're going to be doing. This is a serious issue right now. We'll also be covering crazy things like Tiger Woods being tied for the lead in the PGA tournament right now. So it looks like Tiger Woods is coming back. We'll be covering the whole kneeling situation in the NFL. You know, a lot of lighthearted things. We just wanted to pretty much introduce ourselves and start talking about this. Rich is pointing out right now that as of January 1st of this year, you will be required for the real ID, and you can check it out on Homeland Security.
Oh yeah, like and you can also go. I know that North Carolina has it on their DMV website. So if you go to yeah, most of them are DMV.org. So if you go to your local, your state, you'll also see it there. But yeah, the Real ID Act, it's up there, 2005, Public Law 109-119.
This is so surprising that you don't really hear anything about this.
Well, yeah, kind of in a way, but there's a lot of legislation that was put in place, especially after 9/11, the Patriot Act, that, you know, not only stuff that came immediately that had sunset clauses that got pushed forward, but also the stuff that has not come to fruition because, quote, they were giving people time to, you know, to get this stuff implemented in their states, get the equipment in place. But yeah, so interesting.
Well, MAGA some noise. He's commenting in Periscope, and he said this type of topic is excellent to cover, and we appreciate that. That's why I'm glad that Rich has come on board. Rich has been a friend of mine for a long time, man. This is a guy who's always been there for me. I don't want to get choked up right now on camera. You know, I got a reputation to keep up here as the loudmouth Italian guy, but the guy has been there for me. He's got a lot of knowledge. You know, he'll explain things a lot different than me. I use kind of a 6th grade level, you know, talk, and he can just blow your mind with all this kind of stuff. So it's really good. I think we're going to play off each other well. We welcome you guys to the show. We're figuring out what dates and times, what nights we're going to be doing this. There'll probably be different, you know, shows, like some will be more serious and some will be funny. We'll figure out a schedule. We'll put that up on our Twitter. On Twitter, we are Vantage Point USA, at Vantage Point USA. He is on YouTube at 1600 Reasons Why. I'm on Twitter also at Choose Total News. This page, make sure you follow and share, is Vantage Point with an underscore in the middle. We're on stream.me, Vantage Point. Anything else I forgot? We're trying to cover everything.
Yeah, I was about to say that we'll have to put this in writing and put it up there somewhere. And thanks for that build up. I'll never live up to, Tone. I appreciate that. But yeah,
no. Let me tell you a quick story about this guy right here, Rich. One time I had gotten a car accident. I was in a van, and it was a double rollover accident, and I had my Rottweiler with me.
Katana.
And yes, Katana. And she got spooked and ran off into the woods. So I was in a double rollover accident. The paramedics were amazed I was still standing up. We went looking for the dog. We had the great people of North Carolina were out there on 4-wheelers trying to find my Rottweiler. And it was getting late. I needed to go lay down, go to the hospital, and then go lay down. I gave up. I took my shirt off, and I hung it on a tree. Hopefully my dog would smell my scent. Rich, you know, made sure I was all right. All my friends made sure I was all right. He said, I'm going to go back and look for Katana. And I said, okay. And pretty much what happened was next thing you know, a couple hours later, my front door opens of my house, and there's Rich, and there's my dog. Amazingly, Rich found my dog laying right near where I took my shirt off and hung it on the tree. Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't shower that week, so it was pretty strong. Just kidding. Yeah. But that's just one thing I owe this guy, believe me. Oh, so it's great to have him aboard.
Dude, that was one of my happiest moments too. But it was scary because it was twilight and there was pack dogs all out in the country, so you could hear them in the background. And came up to that, and she was at the edge of the woods, and when I first called her, she didn't respond. Katana always responds to me. So I was like, oh man, if this ain't Katana. So I like quietly reached down, pick up a stick, and then I act excited and called her, and then she ran over, and I was like, I wasn't going to let go of that dog for anything. I was like, yeah, come on. So no, that was a happy point in my life too. But yeah, no, I spent most of my life avoiding social media. Matter of fact, this is the only time that I've ever been on any type of social setting. Yeah, I'm in the deeper parts of the web that have a bad rep, but good people are trying to do good things down there too. So,
right. Yeah. That is a great point. Rich, he does not do well with being out there in social media.
No.
I have been doing this for about a year now. We're not on Facebook. We're thinking about it, but I'm not really too big on Facebook.
No,
but
I'm not a Facebook.
you won't find anything much on Rich on social media. Obviously, you guys been following me, Jake from Total News Network. I'm doing a brand new start here. I have blocked a lot of people in the past. Kind of got involved in a little bit of the drama of some groups fighting back and forth, and had to block some people. But this right here is a no drama page. This is a brand new start. I welcome everybody. I welcome all different opinions. We will not block unless you're just being a disgusting troll. Then, of course, you're going to get blocked. But other than that, I consider this a new start for me, a new start for my group. Glad to have my friend along. Anything else new you want to add, Rich, before we end this?
No, but I do want to once again give credit to Lisa Haven that I just happened to come across on a website. Like I said, this is something you know about and you find out about years before. And it was, I happened to cruise across her show and I was like, man, that's right. I knew all about that. And, you know, kind of slipped your mind. So that's what inspired this show right here. So
now, do you want to put us back up on camera so we could say goodbye to our tens of people around the world watching?
Yeah, actually, I forgot about that. But before we do that, because this is supposed to be a little more lighthearted, you talk about the fake news stuff from the storms. And I was reminding Tony, I don't know if you people remember.
Hey.
If you remember that back in what was it, during the flood in Texas from that hurricane, you had this story, okay? And let me see if I can punch this up real quick. Let's see here. Where's the interact button? Hold on, let me get the volume up here because
Take your time.
This is
my
hilarious.
viewers are very patient.
Look at this! Get out, dude! You got a.
This looks serious here.
Board?
Oh, I remember that.
Now watch this. This is what I really find funny. As this guy runs over to on impulse to save this guy on the truck, right? You see him run across. Be just a second here. Now, you'll notice they show him here. He's got the red jacket. He's got the tan shorts. And he's got the flip-flop, okay? And he's going to dive in here and save this guy. However,
hold on, I'm trying to get you a rope.
When they do the cutaway here and he comes back, you'll notice now that he has the red shirt, the black waders, and you'll see him in the boots in just a second as he stands up. I'm like, so the guy had time to go back to his truck, get dressed for the occasion with the boots and the black pants there.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
The fake news is out of control right now. Obviously, we just recently had Anderson Cooper in waist-deep water while his camera guys only were up to their ankles. And the other guy from the Weather Channel, which was unfortunate, pretending he was blowing away, and then the two guys are walking behind him with the shorts. So yeah, this is it's amazing. We're living in crazy times.
It is crazy times. So
fake news.
Yes, and so I think the next time we come on, we're going to be talking about the besides the Bible, the most important book in the country would be, well, that may be building it up to Black's Law's Dictionary. If you people do not have a copy of Black's Law's Dictionary, it would be well to get it because it. Yeah, but
yes, let's definitely cover a Black's Law Dictionary. I don't know if a lot of people know about that, but that we could really get into.
Yeah.
You have a lot of knowledge on that, and Also chemtrails. I know people are into chemtrails and all kinds of crazy stuff. That's why I brought on Rich. So just to reintroduce myself, if you don't know, my name is Jake from Total News Network. I now have my boy Rich here from 1600 Reasons Why. Together we make Vantage Point. We'll let you guys know on when we're going to be live and what times and have a whole schedule. This was just us kind of coming on live, testing some settings, testing some systems. Make sure you follow and share all of the pages that we've mentioned. Watch the replay if you need to know the contact. And Rich, close it out. Yeah,
guys, if you would, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification thing so we can tell you when we're going to be coming on. Like I said, this is new, definitely new for me. Thank goodness I got Jake with years of experience underneath his belt.
1 year.
Well, 1 year and a day. Could we go 2 years then? So, yeah, but loved being here. Appreciate you watching us. Like I always tell people, I know you could have been doing something else, probably funner, but you landed here. Thanks a lot. Good seeing you.
And don't forget the Trump rally tonight.
All right.
In Vegas.